Well, the news hits the story once again. There's so much to talk about today, and welcome to Madrid Talk episode 1. I have Sam here with me, obviously, first episode appearance. Sam, how you doing, bro?
All good, mate. All good. Yeah, just been a lot of things happening nowadays, and yeah, even today we got some interesting news. So yeah, man, and yeah, big up for having me on the channel, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Amazing, guys. Yeah. And obviously, for the very first episode, we're going to be talking about Vinny mostly. And do you know what? And Sam, obviously, you can interject anytime you want to. With Vinny, my thoughts are this, yeah. And I'm looking at Vinny, especially with the start of La Liga being just 1 month away, yeah. And in the training sessions, he needs to prove to Xabi Alonso that he needs to start. And I see him, even though I'm not too fond of him at the moment because of his form and last season's performances, I'm not really too fond of him essentially being in this slump where he's just very moody, like disagreements everywhere, not really getting the ball, not really doing anything with it. And I hope everybody in the chat can agree with me on this as well. That Vinny being a top performer with Real Madrid and returning to that would obviously be beneficial to the club. I know he's a talented player. We know he's a talented player. We know what he can offer on the pitch. We know his style, his profile, and what he can do. Yeah? But the situation is that I look at Vinny as a player that I really want to see do well. And people say, "Oh no, he's a hater. He hates Vinny. He hates this. He hates that." But for me personally, if he can do well as a player, if he can do well as a player, then it's only beneficial for the club. And chat, you can obviously write anything that you want. Obviously, you're watching this on replay. Put in the comments below. And if he performs to his highest standard, and if he proves to Xabi Alonso that he's the man, yeah, he's our quote unquote star boy, because he is the star boy of Real Madrid. I don't see Mbappe as a star boy, even though Mbappe gets the goals. Vinny is the number one guy for Real Madrid. He's always been for the last few years. Yeah? So, Sam, what's your opinion on Vinny? Like, he needs to perform. He needs to be the guy that performs week in, week out, and really gives us a solid, even 7 out of 10 performances minimum every single week.
Mate, the issue for me is I don't think he might reach those levels again because of
Okay.
that Ballon d'Or
Why
thing.
not?
Because
Because of
I
the
think
Ballon d'Or.
after what?
Because of the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, because we all saw what happened as soon as that thing was announced. Look at his performances afterwards. They were shocking. Like that was not Vinny you watched. And here's the thing: I think it's come to a situation where I don't think him and what's it called Mbappe. I don't think they can work. I don't think they work well together. I don't think there's good chemistry there. I think
Mm.
you and I have both seen as well. We both said it on Will's stream. It's not that you want to pick on Vinny, but the issue is, mate, he's dug himself more in a hole by performing this bad, and then now after the Ballon d'Or ceremony, he's both been crap. And number two, he's demanding to get a 30 million, contract a year.
Yeah.
And right now, he don't even deserve it. Let's just be honest. Yeah, he don't even
Mm.
deserve it, mate. And if Saudi now says to me, "I give you 350 right now," yeah, you can take it,
Mm.
and you can go and spend it on what's it called on other players in
Mm.
key areas that we need, bro, I'll take the money. I'll take the money because I just don't think him and Mbappe can work. And let's be honest, Dave, you and I have followed this club long enough. This club is not going to get rid of Mbappe anytime soon. They're not going to do it.
Mm.
They are not getting rid of him whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So the issue for me has been very simple. Him and Mbappe, they play very similar in my opinion, and because of
Yeah.
that, they don't find each other like Rodrigo can find them. Even when we saw Gonzalo Garcia play, even when he played with one of them, you know, it helped the other one. Whether it was Mbappe or Vini to play with them, much, much better. We could see
Mm.
it. Do you get me? So for me, I'm just not sure that Vini has it in him anymore to stay. This is the issue. I just don't think he can reach the level.
Yeah, look. I respect your opinion, but I have to disagree with you slightly here because, look, for all that I actually look at Vinny and look at his age, look at people think that he's already reached his ceiling because he's already he's already won the Champions League, he's already won La Liga with Real Madrid, he's won pretty much everything there is to win with Real Madrid
Multiple times as well.
Yeah, exactly, multiple times. But obviously, when you have players that can facilitate for you as well, like for example Toni Kroos, when Modric was on his game, you understand? When we had Vinny, Bellingham, and Rodrigo in that free up top, essentially, with Bellingham dropping a little bit deeper than obviously acting as a shadow striker, essentially what it was, it really catered towards him. Now, I agree with Will on his point sometimes also that Mbappe settling into the team has kind of destabilized Vinny a little bit, yeah? And I want to have, essentially with the chat as well, and if you're watching a replay, I want to have a very intelligent argument, essentially, for why Vinny should be really part of this team, because I think, personally, he offers something that a lot of footballers don't offer in the world, football. And that is, well, it used to be his desire to win games single-handedly. You understand? That's what Vinny sometimes can do. We saw it last year against Dortmund in the Champions League. We saw it against Osasuna as well when he got hat-trick. But apart from those two games, I really didn't pick up any type of game that he was the standout performer. Not just because he scored hat-tricks, because he said, okay, give me the ball here, and I'm going to run at the defense myself. And I'm going to do everything myself. Yeah? It is. And I've seen Ali put moments. It's moments of brilliance, essentially. It was, yeah? But ultimately, if he can do that, even at least 60% of the season, we'll have a better season overall than we did last year. And look, we only finished 4 points behind Barcelona. Let's be frank about it. We had probably one of our worst seasons. And we still finished 4 points behind.
But they switched off when they officially won the league. They could have won by more. Let's just be honest.
I understand that. But Barcelona, the way they play, and Hansi Flick plays, sometimes can run the team into the ground. It can do because of
Dave, to be fair, to back up your point, and I am going to back up that point, I don't think he will be as lucky with injuries this season, Hansi Flick. I do not think he will. I think some of his key players will get injured. Pedro, and they're going to get some serious injuries. Not that I wish on it to happen, but unfortunately, the way he plays, because he's running the like of Pedro, he's running them into the ground. The way he keeps playing them, barely gives them a rest. I think that will happen. The issue for me is with Vinny is this for me a little bit is a make or break season for him. Do you get me? Because if he has another shit season like that, are you going to be willing to keep him for another season again, knowing that he will only have 1 year left on his deal? I wouldn't be, and this is my worry now.
His last option.
Yeah.
This is his last kind of throw at the dice. This is his ultimate.
And if I ask you this as well, what if I give you an option right now, we've got 350. If Saudi actually puts that money in, let's say they put that money in down now, 350. If you don't perform next season, he's got 1 year left. Yeah, and then we start to get rid of how much you think Saudi...
Probably drop if it's 1 year left. It will probably drop the amount. Probably be like 200 will be, maybe it could be 150, 200. Vinny can command that figure, though. There's a reason that Vinny commands that high transfer fee. And only a few players in the world can do that. It's because of their accolades. The accolades they've won. The only players in the world that you look at that can really command these fees, Yamal probably be one of them because of what he's done in terms of being so young and can really bring out everything in a game. They're one of the best players I've seen in the last 5 years. You can have maybe, I wouldn't put Doué in that bracket because
not yet.
But Doué is a good player and maybe could reach that in the future. Kvaratskhelia, the way that he plays ball, he could demand surplus 150 million. You understand? So we're looking at, and Dali obviously entered the chat. Big up, mate.
Big
For
up, Dani, bro.
obviously enter the comments. Obviously, me and you have to run a podcast very soon as well, and probably another Madrid talks in the future. But I honestly think that there is a certain thing about Vinny, and we were on Football Chaos yesterday with all the Real Madrid fans, and all the Real Madrid fans echoed the same thing. It's like an echo chamber with every single Real Madrid fan out there. They all believe that Vinny has lost it. He's lost the plot, yeah? And he's not worthy of even sometimes even starting games because Ancelotti gave him the benefit of the doubt because of who he is as a player. Yeah? So I think Vinny as a player, he needs to outperform every single player on that Real Madrid team. He has to this season. If he doesn't, his days are numbered.
Yeah.
His days are big time numbered. So, Sam, a question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think Vinny needs to do to really stay at this club, to stay in this team? Because Xabi Alonso, I don't think he'd be afraid to drop Vinny. I'm sorry, I don't think.
I don't think you'll be afraid to drop anyone.
Yeah.
If you read, I read a Marca, as I told you yesterday. There was an article that I read from Marca, Jose Felix Diaz. I think you know who that guy is. Yeah, one of the journalists of Madrid who's got extra inside information. Apparently, he's got the approval of the board to drop anyone that isn't performing, like anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were threats that if someone like Vinny doesn't perform now, he could get sold. You know, possibly next summer. So already there's a sign, a clear sign that listen, if you don't perform now, mate, you're out. Do you get me? This guy, for me, to what he needs to do, he don't even need to do the 2024 thing. Yeah, just do what he did in 2022. Yeah, just be Robin, but be a good version of Robin. Do you get me? Yeah, because Mbappe's now going to be Batman, whether people like it or not. Yeah. So what I want from this guy is that Vinny, yeah, now does what he did in, for example, 2022. Yeah, I want you to get past your man. Yeah, he's gonna have to be able to get past his man now every time that he, takes the man on. None of this. He just gets past one time, and the other 9 times they just take the ball off him like that.
Yeah.
None of that anymore. Get past your man, and not just that. I want him in his decision making now to find the right pass. Yeah, and actually finish the chances now off properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more bullshit like stuff anymore. Because what I saw from him last season, was disgusting to watch. It was disgusting, and it was getting
At
to a point
times,
where
yeah,
you,
it was.
and you want, and at the same time you wanted him dropped at some point as well. That's how bad it got. That's how bad it was. Which is why I now want this man, to start doing what he can actually. Well, he's got the capabilities of. Yeah, because we've seen what he can do. Yeah, if he actually performs like he was in 2022, then give him the deal. Do you get me? Then give him the deal. But
well,
if he can't,
more of a facilitator as well as a player that can carry the ball, can really do amazing things on his ones, essentially.
Yeah.
And that season, though, essentially, you did have also Rodrigo was pretty decent as well, very, very good as well.
Oh, off the bench, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And then obviously Benz, mate, we know that, bruv. He's the guy, bruv, isn't he? So I think the whole situation with Vinny is that he needs to be the star boy, and that's the title of this video. Yeah. He needs to be the star boy this season. He needs to prove every single Madridista wrong, apart from Will, because Will's always believed in him. But he needs to prove every single Madridista wrong. But look, for me, I look at the fan base of Real Madrid, and a lot of them love Vinny. I mean, I was outside the Bernabéu, and I was talking to a lot of fans, and they were saying to me that Vinny, they really want to see him do well because they see him hitting this absolute downhill curve where he can't get out of it. You understand that? You have one performance, maybe against Salzburg in the Club World Cup, where he was outstanding as a player and was literally
that was the Vinny we saw that we're used to see. Yeah,
exactly. But the situation is that's against Salzburg. Can he do that against Liverpool in the Champions League? Can he do that against potentially if we face them again Arsenal? Because against Arsenal, he's probably one of the worst players I've ever seen. I didn't see him do nothing against Arsenal,
It's
and
it's
it
gonna
was
this
eaten up
season
by
it will be
Timber.
proven. Yeah.
Yeah, he was eaten up by Timber
Mm.
against PSG. He was just dead. I don't know. I want to see him do well. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I really do, and I keep apologizing
No, we
because
all do.
for me, I look at Vinny as a player that when I see him sad on the pitch, look, the problem with Vinny is this. He doesn't get into the game in the very first 15, 20 minutes. The game is not suited to him. It's done. He
Yeah.
doesn't, he doesn't bother him at all. It's like 15, 20 minutes. Okay, I don't have the ball. Okay, cool. I'll just stand around, do my thing, whatever. I'll wait for the ball. Yeah. And we really need to see a Vinny that's hungry from the very first minute of the game. Yeah. And even if there are situations, and I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Football Matrix yesterday on the Football
Mm.
Chaos show. He was saying that CR7, if he has even one of the worst games in his life, he will get a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the difference maker. That's the difference maker between a CR7 and a Vinny. Yeah.
Mm.
Vinny has one of the worst games in his life. He can't seem to get out of it. If Cristiano Ronaldo has one of the worst games, and we see him have in the past, I'm sorry, very, very shocking games. But out of the blue, he
He'll
will just
score
go
and he'll win
bang
us the game.
and
Do you
win
get
us the
me?
game. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing. We saw him as well, yeah, where it was certain situations, Champions League matches. I remember Wolfsburg game, exactly that. A perfect example. Hey, Real Madrid down and out, boom,
There you
smashed it.
go.
You understand? Exactly. So there's
Bayern
certain
Munich, another hat trick.
exactly. So we need to see. Look, the Juventus game. Amazing. Got a standing ovation by Juventus fans. So Vinny needs to find that hole. He needs to find that hole in himself where if the game does not suit him and does not match him well, he needs to be the guy that really takes it on himself and says, okay, I'm going to prove to the world now, this last 10 minutes is 0-0 against Getafe away, which is going to be hard anyway. It's a half
I'll be
game, yeah?
real. I think the first
That kind of
10,
match.
15. I think the first 10, 15 games will pretty much show if there is a possibility.
Yeah.
Because if I don't see a reaction from the first 10, 15 games of the league, and then I will include the Champions League games as well. If I don't
Yeah.
see that from him, then I'm gonna start giving up. And
Mm.
then I'm gonna be on the boat. I'm actually already on the boat when I'm saying cash in on him. Yeah. And I'll be on that boat even more. Because the difference between me and other people is anyone who knows me from Twitter, anyone who knows me in real life knows I just don't give a fuck. I do not give a damn who you are. Like all these men, Dave, are employees at my club. Do you get me? They're all employees, mate. Yeah? They're all replaceable. And at the end of the day, CR7, yeah, was my idol. Yeah? That's someone that I look up to. Do you get me? That's my favorite ever player. In my opinion, the greatest ever footballer that's ever played for Madrid.
Okay.
Do you get me? I'm never going to see something. But if I turn on him, and look what CR7 did for this club. But if I can turn on him at times, bro, respectfully, Vinny is a nobody then. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like, it does not matter who you are. So either you perform now, mate, or we'll talk. Yeah? Get in the bin. And you've got to start, and Dave, we have to start being ready to ask this question as well. Is it going to fit into Shabby's system?
Yeah, that's
Is it gonna
the
fit?
that's the question.
I mean,
This actually that point actually leads me great onto this what Omar says, and Omar's saying that he needs to play the supporting role, and even if he has a bad game, just make
Robin.
the good passes. Yeah,
Yeah, be Robin, basically.
yeah. Just be the good passes. Just do the simple stuff correctly. Don't be flash. Don't be over enthusiastic about taking on everybody yourself. And do you know what? The Real Madrid fans will see that he's made the effort in the game. Yeah, because he has the ability to beat players. But when he doesn't beat a player and he's consistently coming up against them, perfect example was Timber. Yeah, exactly that. That is a perfect example. Or he comes up against a right back, like for example, Hakimi with PSG. Yeah, these kind of examples. And you know that you're either going to get physically bodied off the ball, you're not going to get the time and space, they're going to press you like crazy, you're going to have problems. Just do the simple stuff well. If you do the simple stuff well, you will have a better fitting towards Xabi Alonso's system than people think. Because Vini, I think he has the capability in him to play that technical side of the game. That's what Rodrigo does very well. If Rodrigo's getting pressed, Rodrigo knows that all he needs to do is just a quick give and go, and he's fine. Yeah, in those kind of moments, keep the ball rotating, keep it moving, and then you have no issues. But instead of doing that, what Vinny does, he's like, okay, cool. It's 0-0. The game's very tight. Let me just try and take on this man. And you lose the ball. It either goes out for a corner and you have major problems. So that's the problem in itself. Yeah. And I just want to end, obviously, this segment on Vinny with saying this is that we as Real Madrid fans, we adore Vinny for what he can bring in his best moments. Yeah. But when you don't have those best moments, ensure you're playing for the team and not yourself. And then you'll find a better area to work with, especially with this Xabi Alonso system, than what he did before. Yeah. And under Ancelotti. Because Ancelotti,
the issue is
it relied on him. Yeah, go on,
the issue is there is something that the club is starting to pick up more. They're feeling that there is an ego problem at the club, in the team. And I'm sorry to say, but I think Vinny might be one of them. Do you get me? Now, for me, it's just Vinny anymore that is under threat for me. Because if we go trophyless again, and if people say sack Xabi, all right, I have no issue with that. Like I said, I've seen my team sack many managers. But if Xabi goes, rule talk, mate. Yeah, some of these players, goes with him. Because now I'm done with just picking on the manager and not picking on these players. Yeah? So from now on, anyone who doesn't cut it now, bin him off. Because this season, I am not having another season like last season today. Because last season, I lost my head enough times. Yeah? I've got a hole in my table right there. I've literally got a hole. That rule talk. Mate, the hole is right there. Luckily, I actually did something good. Because now I can plug my fucking cables in it. Do you get me? Now, but rule talk, mate, it reached a point where I even lost my head so much. My table was basically begging me, "Oh, Sam, stop hitting me because you're going to destroy it." Do you get me? Now, because that rule talk, mate, do you get me? You're fucking Tor coming with his hammer, smashing everything to pieces. Do you get what I'm saying, fam? Like, at the end of the day, it comes to a point where you just lose your head. Because these players shouldn't be playing like this. They're not this bad. They're not. Like, look at the stuff we've won with them. They're not this bad, mate. But if it becomes a point where there's too many egos, mate, they get rid of the egos out of there. Because I want a team. I want Madrid to start building teams now that runs together. Fights. Yeah. None of this, I can just stroll around the pitch while you men do the hard work. No. You're all gonna help and do the hard work.
You're all gonna be team players. And do you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, and it leads me on swiftly to a lot of the news circulating today that I think one of the players that went under the radar last year. And look, chat, I know a lot of Real Madrid fans either like him or dislike him. He's a bit like Marmite, yeah, and that's Dani Ceballos. Dani Ceballos is a Marmite type of player. Some people like him and respect him for what he does on the pitch. And they're saying there's talks of him going to Betis. There's other offers. Look, we don't know what the situation is, but Dani Ceballos in Betis would actually fit like a glove, yeah? But for me, Dani Ceballos is a player that I never really rated before. I am sorry, I never really rated him before. I never really found what he was good at. I looked at him on the pitch and saying, look, you're Spanish, but what do you actually do on the pitch? What are you good at all? He's a bit like Gavi's the same. I don't understand the need of these players.
He's more of a steady Eddie.
It's steady Eddie. But what Dani Ceballos does well is very underplayed. And he was in that middle spell of the season, he was actually one of our best players, which is weird. He was one of our best players.
Until he got that injury, sadly.
Until he got the injury, exactly. And he keeps the ball rotating very well. He presses as well. Not the best presser in the world. Don't get me wrong. He's not bloody the be all and end all of pressing players. But what he does offer is rotating of the ball well, yeah, and But the price tag that we're looking at, I think, is about 10 to 15 million euros. Yeah. And I understand it's Dani Ceballos. I understand he's not the most elaborate player in the world. But
Mm,
if we're selling him to a team that is potentially next season, and I see Betis as a team that could compete for top four next season. Yeah.
mm.
Because they're that kind of team that you never know with Betis. They could be top four, they could be near the bottom. That is Betis all over. They could be competing. I see more of Atletico Bilbao, more of a team that will be competing for top four, yeah? And you can see Villarreal in that, you can see a Real Betis in that, you can see a string of teams. Sociedad is another team that can do that, but sometimes they drop below on their performance
Like they were
standards.
last season.
It's like last season, exactly. Then they got absolutely smashed by Man United. So these kind of teams, but Ceballos will fit. I actually don't, guys. I'm sorry to say, the midfield now. I know we do have decent players in there, but with Bellingham out, I don't want to see Ceballos gone. Can we actually maybe release Ceballos? Obviously, sell him on, and then maybe go for like Angelo Stiller, which
Yeah,
will give us a
that's
bit
what we're
more
just gonna say.
financial backing to go for Angelo. Will
Yeah,
give
but that's
us more
I
of a
was just gonna say
motivation.
that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that was my originally suggestion.
yeah,
You get rid of him. You go for Stiller because Stiller fits.
mm,
I think Stiller fits into the system like a glove. Yeah, he
yeah.
can control the tempo. He can play. I'm not even asking him to really play that DM role. Really, I just needed to create
He
from
does. He's not a
from.
DM. He's
No,
a
no, no.
centre
But you
mid.
don't even need to do that because we've got
Mm.
Chouameni there, and we've all seen what's happened with him since
Yeah,
Xabi's
he's
gone.
amazing. He's
Yeah,
amazing
he's made him into a monster. Yeah, and that's my favorite player in Madrid. Yeah, whether people
at the
believe it or
moment.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that no, it's not even that. He's been ever since he's come to my club. He's been my favorite player. I love Chouameni.
Okay,
I love the guy to bits.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
Nah, nah, but
I never,
again,
I didn't really rate him last season because his performance was
no,
a
no, no.
mixed match.
Last season, no. But the season before, every
Mm,
game that he started, we didn't lose. We were unbeaten every time he started. Yeah, and that tells you all you need to know
yeah,
about how good this man is. Because when he's on it, yeah, you can see
yeah,
what that guy does well. When he's got a proper manager who gives proper instructions, you
mm,
can clearly see what he does. When it comes to Ceballos, for me, like I said, nothing against the guy. Yeah, he is what he is. That is what something I will give Ceballos. He doesn't try and act and play like something that he's not. Yeah, that's something I will give Sabat. Like he knows
mm,
his limits. But at the end of the day, if you give me a chance, bin him off and get Stiller in, bro, I'm
mm,
100% I'm taking it. Madrid wants what 15 to 20 million. That's not really the issue. The issue is
mm.
his wages right now. He's gonna have
Yeah,
to if he wants to go to another Spanish club, he's gonna have to lower his wages right
yeah.
now.
Of course, because
That
Betis are not going to give him the wages that he commands. Of
nah,
course not.
I don't even think they have the money to do that as well.
Yeah,
Sadly.
I think for, I think with like it is like quite ludicrous these wages, man. It's mad that Denis Ceballos is even getting that, and Arda Güler's not even, well, he's close to it essentially, but he's not even getting close that much to it. You see,
Mm.
and Arda Güler is a player that we need to protect. Do we really need to protect Dani Ceballos from going the team? I don't really think we do if we can bring someone else in that's even better than Dani Ceballos. And Angelo still is the guy that we were talking about. People were talking about McAllister and Enzo and Barella and all these type of players. And you know what, Barella, we talked about it yesterday in the show. He is an ideal fit candidate for me. I like Barella. I think Barella is he's a very all-round midfielder. Same as
Mm.
McAllister is a very all-round midfielder. Enzo is an all-round midfielder, but he's more of a sprayer. He likes to really pick out his pass as well, and he's a bit
Yeah.
more involved in the passing and build-up. But Angelo Stiller is probably one of the best
I
candidates
think
as to
next summer,
yeah,
that is
yeah,
one to look out
yeah, but
for.
it shouldn't really be a next summer thing because if we're losing a midfielder, we need to recruit another one because I'm sorry, Bellingham going out and being out for 3 months and Ceballos not having the ability to play
Mm.
is crazy to me. I'm
Yeah, but
sorry,
the
like
issue is the club don't operate like that anymore. They like
Yeah,
whether
I know, but Tchouameni's going to be playing in the back of the center,
yeah,
the
yeah,
back
but
three.
the club don't view it like that. The club says put Kamavinga in there. Do you
Yeah,
get me? Put him in
if
there. Then
Camavinga
you
gets
put
in under injury or
no.
is gone again,
I hear it. Like listen. I would go and get Stiller. I would. Do you get me? Yeah, I don't want
mm,
flipping what's it called Madrid to leave themselves short. But the issue
yeah,
is and listen, I agree, and I spoke to a Madridista, yeah, who's been a Madridista for what nearly 50 years something. He even told me himself, that Real Madrid is going to have to sell someone if they want
Mm.
to bring another midfielder because
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's actually the
yeah,
truth.
and that is an issue. And unfortunately, this is either, and I've said this before, either if you sell Rodrigo, you go and get a Stiller, or you sell a Vini
Mm.
and you get a Stiller, maybe even a defender, because it's not just another midfielder. We need another defender as well. That is another thing that we need as well. So again,
Mm.
we're gonna have to pick in. So we're gonna have to see either what I think the club is gonna do. They're gonna stick Camavinga there, and I think he's another player that's gonna have his make or break season as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
either
Camavinga,
you
I'm waiting to see under Xabi Alonso, to be honest.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Camavinga
I
is a
think he'll
major,
ball
major
out. Personally,
benefit.
I think he'll ball out. But
Mm.
again, it depends on wait and see. What I think the club is going to do, they're going to play Camavinga there. They're going to try and save the funds even more. Yeah,
Mm.
and if Rodrigo does leave, yeah, this summer, I think they will try and use that money for next summer to get a Stiller in, or maybe even if they decide to go even bigger, maybe if an Enzo says, "Hey, my job is done here, I want to move on," then they could spend it on him, and then bring
Yeah.
in him with a Konate or someone like that. I just don't think this summer because the club has made it clear unless sales are being made first, they're not going to buy anyone right now, and
Mm. Yeah.
because of
I
their registration number of the squad.
yeah. I think overall though, I'm kind of disappointed if they do go down that route of getting rid of Ceballos. I don't really see the need of it just for 10 to 15 million. The only reason I would see the need of it is if we do recruit someone else and if we do recruit another player.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's the point. If I give you the option right now, bin him and bring Stiller, would you do it?
yeah, I would do it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult to say because I think overall that like is 10 15 million really going to contribute that much to Real Madrid's price tag for Stiller or
But let's
whatever?
be honest.
Because
Yeah, but
I think Stiller's what 50 million, another 50
yeah,
million
but let's
pound
be
player.
honest. Yeah, but Dave, let's be honest. We're not broke. Like we've got money. Do you get me?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
The whole purpose I'm saying is because again, we can only use a couple of numbers for registration in the squad. So that's what I'm saying. You bin him, you get some
Mm,
money, then you can use that money with the funds you've already got, yeah, and you can buy
mm,
Stiller, then you can put him into the squad. Do you get me? Then at least you've got the midfield sorted, yeah. The attack will be sorted in a way because if Vinny doesn't work, you can put Gonzalo Garcia or Rodrigo in there,
yeah.
yeah, or vice versa, whatever, yeah. The defense, yeah, we both know what's going to happen next summer. Both Rudiger and Alaba. Alaba's definitely going to leave next summer, yeah? That's what,
Mm,
400 grand a week saved already. And Rudiger, if he keeps performing like this, he's not going to get any deal. That's another player that's going to be bent. And if Konate keeps, rejecting Liverpool's offers, yeah?
well, he
And
will do.
which,
Yeah, it's pretty much a short deal, like a free next summer.
yeah, yeah,
It's
which I
pretty much a
hope.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah.
which something I hope. Then you can get him in, yeah? Then you've
Mm,
replaced one of the holes. Maybe then. And again, this is something else that I was reading that we might have to keep an eye on. If Arsenal again does not win anything again, and Saliba then says, "No, do you know what? I've had enough." That is another situation where Madrid might
yeah,
use their funds on him as well to bring that back line in as well. There's a lot of things Madrid are
that's
thinking too. They're thinking this is what
mm.
long term. That's why they want to be very very
Yeah,
cautious.
I think it is a long term thing. I think it's a long term thing. But
Yeah,
with 1 month to go now to La Liga, it's actually pretty much 3 weeks, 3 weeks and a bit now. Yeah, to
mm.
go for La Liga to start, and our first game obviously at Osasuna. I think our game has been a bit. It was originally going to be played, I think, on the 16th, and then got moved to the
I think
19th,
it was 15th. No, I think it was 15th.
and it was moved to the 19th, isn't it? Essentially, because they wanted to give a little bit more press to the players and
Oh, good,
all
good.
rubbish anyway, whatever. But with 1 month to go till La Liga starts now, there's going to be serious questions with Xabi Alonso and what team he's actually picking for that very fast start of the game. And like we've talked about Vinny in the beginning. Look, I will grant Vinny the start to see how he performs in the very first game against Osasuna. I think Mbappe definitely needs a start. Mastantuono is not going to get a start anyway because he hasn't even gelled with the team
No,
at
he's
all.
gonna come off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to come on the bench. So I would most likely then probably see them two playing up top. But where the hell Does Gonzalo Garcia fit into these plans? I don't know. I think Xavi Alonso, looking at Gonzalo Garcia's performances in the Club World Cup, is like, look, we have a player on our hands. What am I going to do with that? It's going to be a
I
difficult
think, I
dilemma.
think, I think. What I was reading, this is what I'm hearing. He himself said he's ready to do the Joselu role. Do you get me? So that's
Well, to
already
come
a
off the
positive.
bench, to come off the
Yeah,
bench.
yeah. That already is a positive sign. But I
Mm,
think this is. But I think it's come to a point. I think what the club basically have indirectly said, from what you can see from Madrid Extra, from Madrid's on that now, excluding him from the first team squad is pretty much impossible now due to what he's shown. And he was breaking
mm.
records in Castilla. Yeah, people close to me were telling Madrid fans were telling me about this guy. They were telling me, Sam, yeah,
Yeah,
Blancos, watch out for this guy.
he's the profile
Yeah,
player
watch out
we
for him.
need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he doesn't get serious injury, he will be the next big thing in terms of a striker.
Mm,
Yeah, and he's already showing
mm.
promise. And people can say what they want, that it was just a Club World Cup. You still got to perform, Dave. You still got to perform. Yeah,
Mm.
he done his bit. Do you get me? Like, I'm not gonna blame him for what
Yeah.
happened against PSG, because again, he and what did they do? They played him in a cam position.
Yeah,
Do you get me?
in just behind Mbappe and Vinny, which was just ludicrous. I don't understand what
Yeah.
the hell that was. Yeah, sometimes he was floating on the right hand side as well, trying to press Nuno Mendes on several occasions, and it just didn't look right. It was just like it looked very weird. Like I would have preferred to see Mbappe and Garcia in a
I think
two
that's put even
because
more pressure now on Vinny as well
then
for this season.
then yeah, then you can actually see what happens because
Yeah.
Xabi Alonso is definitely going to look and analyze that very first game. He's going to say, okay, Osasuna, yeah, it's our home, it's our first game, yeah. We're ready to do this. Yeah, this is our La Liga season. This is how Real Madrid are going to fit in. This is the very first game of the season. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys, but I want to see us batter Osasuna in the very first game of the season. If it's a scrape by, if it's a 1-0 or something, I'm not going to be disappointed because it's a win
Nah,
in the
bro,
very
I'm
first
I'm
game.
sick and tired of seeing scrub wins. I'm sick
Yeah,
of it, bro. I
exactly.
want to see us dominate, bro. Dominate the play,
Yeah,
dominate the tempo, create
yeah,
chances, yeah,
yeah,
and no more defensive mistake bullshit stuff, yeah.
yeah. Towards the
From
end of the
from
game,
from the
yeah,
team, yeah. No, none of that, and no more switching off, yeah, because we've done
yeah.
that a lot, yeah, and
Many
I
times
hate
last
seeing
season,
that.
yeah, I
No
remember.
more switching off, yeah. Keep being on them, yeah,
Mm.
and I want to see that. I'll take a 3-0 as example, and then you build from that and
Yeah,
build from that.
Santiago just said he'll take a
Yeah,
3-0
and
as
I'll say
well in
this
the
right
chat.
now as well, Dave. Dave,
Mm.
I'm not even lying as well. Yeah, I'm not even lying. You mentioned Garcia. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now. If Vinny does not perform, if he starts the season poorly, bro, do
Yeah,
not be surprised. Yeah, and this is me speaking if Rodrigo leaves now. All right, because now right now I'm not including him.
yeah.
You be ready for a situation where you could see Garcia start ahead of Vinny for some time
With Mbappe,
with
yeah.
Mbappe. Yeah,
In
be
the two up
ready. Be
top
ready
with a
for it.
3-5-2 formation, and that three
Yeah.
five two formation is very important to Xabi Alonso. I think
Mm.
the width that we have on the pitch, how Alonso plays his team is going to be super crucial. And yes, he's going to change the formation depending on the team he plays against. Obviously, we know that. That's what he did against Leverkusen. But the bare bones of it is that he likes a 3-5-2, 3-4-2-1 formation. But with Real Madrid, he's looking at this 3-5-2 and he's saying, okay, maybe this is decent. The way that we played against Dortmund, for example, in the Club World Cup, I haven't seen Real Madrid play like that in years, especially that very first half. I've not seen Real Madrid play like that in a very long time. And Dortmund were really like just standing on the edge of their box and doing nothing. So
Mm.
we maintained possession of the ball, and it was such an important thing. Before we go into, obviously, before I cover into more into that, we have a super chat
Sorry,
here.
Vin,
Vinny better off at Real Madrid, or does he have one more season? I'll address this in just a second after Sam's comment. Yes, Sam.
just 2 seconds before you do. Can you this Wesley M guy, bruv? This is anything you've got going on is your color thing, brother. Respectfully, yeah. If you think I'm saying this because he's black, bro, you are one brain dead fucker. Real talk, mate. Yeah, my favorite player in Real Madrid is Chouameni, and he's black. Yeah, what are you waffling about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
real
think
talk, mate.
I think a lot of this thing obviously stems well, obviously, but look, we are Real Madrid fans. We love Mbappe. We love the diversity in this Real Madrid team. There's so many different players of different races. Vinny's thing is based upon his
Who gives a
performances
shit
only.
about your skin color? Like, who gives a shit? Either perform or you bin. I couldn't give a toss what skin color you have. Like, what
Yeah,
we doing here, bro?
it's all about. We're gonna obviously. I'm gonna dead this right now. It's all about the performances on the pitch, guys. Yeah,
Of course it is.
that's what it is. It's all about the performances on the
Yeah, but
pitch.
this is
Yeah,
what David. These people, they come into every stream and they just chat nonsense, baby. Yeah, every time. Yeah, because it's
yeah.
their boy and they can't take criticism.
Yeah, well, do you know what, Vinny? Do you know what? And I've praised Vinny many times. You can go back on my videos. I've praised him so many times. I loved what he did for us in the Champions League campaign. We know how he performed in that
You were
season. We
screaming
know
Ballon d'Or shouts for him as well. I remember.
I was saying that Vinny or Rodri or Carvajal should have won the Ballon d'Or. That's as simple as it is. Yeah.
100.
So look, my favorite player of all time is Ronaldo, phenomenal Brazilian Ronaldo. Yeah,
Nice
and
Portuguese, but I hear
exactly.
it.
But the situation is that we love players because they play for the badge, and that is simple as it is. I'm going to dead
And
that right now.
performs for the badge as well.
And performs for the badge.
Performance.
Exactly that, yeah. So to Judin, Khan says, Vinny better off at Real Madrid, or does he have one more season? I think with this, to Judin, I'm going to say that at the time being, I want to see him with Real Madrid. I want to see him perform. I want to see him deliver everything for this club. Yeah. So if he can do that, then do you know what? We'll give him one more season. I think so. But if not, then you know what? There's going to be offers open from a lot of clubs around the world, and I think the Saudi money bags coming in. I don't think Real Madrid can say no if that
Do
is
you know
ever the
what?
case, because we
For
saw Neymar
me,
go off there as well, and look
yeah.
at the price tag that Neymar commanded there because of his skill set, because of his past accolades.
Yeah.
Neymar, that 200 plus million price tag was crazy. Vinny would command more because he's younger, and
Yeah.
he has a much higher ceiling in terms of what he can offer in the near future. Yeah, what are you
Mm.
thinking about that? Do you think he has a one more season, depending on his
I
performances
wouldn't
this
mind.
season?
I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't mind either or. Like, I genuinely mind either or. You can, if you sell him this summer, I wouldn't lose sleep over. If you keep him this summer, I wouldn't lose sleep over it either. Because either way, he either performs this season or the
Mm,
club have said, "Nah, do you know what, mate? He's not going to fit the plan. He's not going to fit the system. Let's cash in now, where we can get maximum profit." Otherwise, like you said, if he
yeah.
happens to have another bad season, then we sell him next summer with 1 year left,
Mm,
or then we've lost what 100 mil, something maybe on
mm,
his value, and
yeah.
that could be something. So I'm open for anything, man. But whatever happens, yeah, I just
Yeah.
hope the club has a plan for what they do with either way
Yeah.
how it ends.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
uh, we have about 18 minutes left before we're going to obviously redirect to Sam's stream. He has obviously a talk with a couple of Real Madrid fans himself on his channel, so make sure you go and support Sam. Obviously, Blancos Talks Madrid is pinned in the title. Make sure you subscribe. It doesn't take more than a few seconds, yeah. But guys, obviously, 18 minutes left. I wanted to actually just cover one more thing, and the whole team itself, I think, is going to take a long time to gel. And I've always mentioned this, that I'm going to give Xabi Alonso 10 to 15 games. I say 10 games because 10 games is going to give me a good reading of how Xabi Alonso is going to play for the rest of the season. Yeah, because obviously the league season is 38 games, but in the mix of that, you also have your Champions League, you have Copa del Rey, you have a very tough very first leg against Atletico Madrid in the Super Cup of Spain. Potentially,
mm.
we're going to play Barcelona again in the Super Cup
Oh
final.
no,
That is,
possibly we will, we will.
it probably will exactly that as well. And the whole situation is those 10 games at the beginning of the season is such an important thing for how we adjust to the rest of the season. I say 10 to 15. Sam, if you agree with me, you can agree with me. If you don't, you maybe see that Xabi Alonso should be given the whole season to see how really well he fits with the team. Because I could give a perfect example. Yeah, you can look at Xabi Alonso's first season with Leverkusen, obviously bringing him out of the dirt, and then really then next season just kicking on and winning Bundesliga ahead of a Bayern Munich team that's dominated for years essentially. Yeah, what's your opinion on Xabi Alonso and his time that he should be given to see? Give us a good barometer of how Real Madrid should play in the future.
Do you know what? I think I would give him. I would give him this season. because, like
The
I
whole
said,
season, yeah. Okay.
yeah, because it's come to a point now where I'm like, you know what? I think Xabi is a good manager. I think he's a very good
Mm,
manager. But I've come to the point where I'm like, these players for me, it can't be a situation now where you just sack the manager and these players go on escape, and then these players can just go
mm,
away from the criticism. Because I've said this before, if you sack him and he has a poor season, you sack him, cool, no worries. But if you sack him, yeah,
mm,
these players, yeah, that have these ego problems and wants to just play for themselves, not for the team, they go off with him. Do you get me? They get binned with him as well because none of this bullshit anymore with just one guy and all that. I'd give him the
mm,
season, yeah, but I think after around 10, yeah, maybe even less, yeah. Let's be honest, Chabi, can easily bring stuff out, out of the blue. I think,
mm,
but after 8 to 10 games, you will see how he wants to play. Yeah, I just hope that the system kicks in as quick as possible because the quicker the system kicks in, yeah, the quicker we will get. We will kick on, and the quicker
mm,
we will, and the better our chance will be to win La Liga. I think his first big test for me will be Atletico. It's going to be Atletico, the Madrid derby. I can't
mm.
remember if it was
So
away
it's
from home
it's
or
it's seventh game. It's in the Metropolitano. It's the
yeah,
seventh
yeah,
game in Madrid
yeah.
derby,
Mm,
and I think it's 6th or 7th. I'm not entirely sure, guys. If you can obviously let me know in the chat if it's the 6th or 7th game. But
yeah.
honestly, we are that is going to be the very first hurdle. I say also the teams coming up from La Liga Segunda division as well, the second division. Those are going to be big hurdles as well because they're going to face Real Madrid. There's a chance to shine against the best in Spain, essentially. So they're going to be well up for a game. Sociedad
And
away.
and
Yeah,
the
gone.
Champions League as well. Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to shoehorn that in as well because
yeah.
this club,
Champions League is going to
because
be a big. It's a big
you
one.
can do all well and good in the league, but in Europe you have to do well. Do you get me? You
Mm,
have to do well. If Fabio Capello won a league, guess what? He got sacked because he didn't perform in Europe, mate. Do you get me?
mm,
Yeah, we've seen plenty of managers get sacked because they don't win the Champions League or they don't perform in Europe. Yeah.
yeah,
So that is another thing Xabi's going to have to improve his European record, and he's going to have to do it drastically as well.
yeah,
But I think he will succeed. But I think that the club really needs to listen to him and get
yeah.
this galactical mindset that it's just have a bunch
It's
of
out. Yeah.
have to sweep that out now. But time
Mm,
will tell. But again, from the first, if we can battle Osasuna in the first game, yeah, because he has to win the first game. There, let's be
yeah.
honest. No drop
We usually
points,
start
nothing.
off slowly as well. We always
Yeah,
start
and that's
slowly.
the game.
Look at
If he
last year,
can
the same
start
thing.
off
Mallorca
quickly,
1-0.
that's the thing. If he can actually start off quickly, batter them, yeah, and then the next 2, 3, 4 games we do well and we sweep all these teams
Mm,
apart and we win all those games, yeah, it gives him a very, very good start. Because there's another thing as well I don't think people are talking about enough. We're talking about the midfield and the attack and all that. There's two other players that I think is going to be really, really, really important for a system to start as well.
okay, who's that?
Trent and
Yeah,
Carreras. Yeah, because
yeah.
the wing backs are going to be a bit,
Flooding up, yeah.
yeah, they're going to be the creativity as well. We're going to have to see how that works as well. But
Mm,
hopefully, man, it works. Hopefully, it works. Because this is just anyone. Do you get me? This ain't just anyone we're talking about.
exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think overall, when I look at the very first 10 games, I already said it's evident we need about 22, 23 points before we face Barcelona. It's going to be a very head to head La Liga, I think, this season. I think also don't count Atletico out in those very first 15 games either. Atletico are a team that really have a strong unit, especially the very first games. They haven't played no football over the summer. They're fresh as a daisy. They're going to be well up for it. They're going to be always competing us. The reason Atletico Madrid always fall off at the end is because it's just they don't, as soon as they lose games and they lose enthusiasm to carry on and kick on.
It's
Real
not even
Madrid
just that.
Real Madrid are a business end of the season team. They love the
Yeah.
end of the season. They always start. They don't do it pretty, but they do it well, and they start winning game after game after game. Last season was a bit different. That Barcelona El Clasico really just kicked us in the nuts completely. Yeah, so that was a major problem. I think that Barcelona and we have this season the El Clasico again towards the end of the season. It's like 4 games out from the end of the season. It's going to be another head turner. It's going to be
Because
another head
what
turner.
is the one thing? What is the one thing that you constantly hear from rivals and people from outside of La Liga, whether it's in the Prem, Bundesliga, or Serie A? Everyone wants to play Madrid in the beginning of the season. Why?
Yeah,
Because that's when we're not, when we
we're
haven't
not in
clicked
our
in yet.
we're not in our
It's just like
situation. Yeah,
City.
exactly.
It's just like City in the Prem. Yeah,
The,
we start off
mhm.
slowly, but no one wants to play us in the business end. Why? Because they know that's when we turn up the most,
Yeah, they
and
start
that's when you
winning
win.
10 games on the bounce. Exactly.
That's the
That's
point.
what it is.
What I
Mm.
need, what I need Xabi to do is to in the beginning of the season, he starts off quickly and good, and then he keeps that consistency through to the end of the season. That's what I need him to do. Do you get me? The quick,
Yeah.
if he can do that, it's a massive, massive bonus for us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just to address this comment, you haven't seen the Galacticos podcast because I was in Spain. I was dealing with family issues, so the last two Galacticos podcasts weren't were actually set to actually launch at all. We are returning the Galacticos podcast this Thursday on Will's channel. So just to address that comment there, and obviously we have a couple of super chats as well. Barca is fire. Any chance for Real Madrid with all the signings? I don't put a fire emoji next to Barca ever, pretty much,
there's
mate.
always a chance. There's
Yeah,
always a chance.
exactly. Yeah, there was always a chance. But Xavi would bench Vinny if he doesn't perform. Thoughts? Exactly. We already said that. We already addressed this at the beginning. I think
Yeah.
that's an absolute definite. Yeah, and I have actually seen Papillon's reaction to my video. He is waiting to get cooked, unfortunately, because unfortunately for him, yeah, there are so many things wrong what he said in the video. But me and Papillon have actually something special. We got actually our own podcast coming off, which is going to be a Barca X Madrid podcast, which is going to be crazy. And I'm going to start one with Omar too, and also Barca Volume. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to be heavily unloading podcasts this season, guys. Don't worry about that, yeah. And obviously, Sam, we obviously starred on our very first podcast essentially yesterday together. And
Mm.
guess what? Yeah, invited to the WhatsApp group thanks to Will. And now we've got loads of podcasts coming. So everything's going to be absolutely crazy. And I'm obviously going to
And you'll
join
see Dave
Sam.
on my channel as well.
Yeah,
And
I
you'll
will
see him on
obviously
my
join
channel as well.
Sam, obviously, either on a weekly basis or whatever, whenever obviously Sam wants to invite me on his stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
so
welcome anytime you want, mate.
yeah, no worries, mate. But so
Um,
yeah, we're gonna have loads of podcasts, yeah, and obviously, it's gonna be sensational stuff. Obviously, getting after a match on a weekday and seeing Barcelona lose, and the Real Madrid fans were like, "Hey, mate, this is our time to shine. This is the time to give it back to Barcelona fans." And yeah, it's we have big plans, of course, but I think
hopefully.
the lot. Yeah, I hopefully, and I think the last point to round off is just kind of like a segue onto the last point that we're making. I
Mm.
think Xabi Alonso as a manager, he's stressed out, mate. This guy he's gonna be stressed, yeah, because
Well,
this
anyone that
guy
comes into
knows
this club is going to be stressed, mate.
yeah,
This ain't just any
it's
club.
the biggest job in the world. It's the biggest
Yeah.
job in the world. That first match against Osasuna, La Liga kicks off for us 19th of August. He is going to be absolutely bricking it, yeah, because he
Yeah.
knows anything other than a win is looking as a failure already. And that
Yeah.
is the standards that we demand as Real Madrid fans, unfortunately. It's not nothing unfortunate about
No,
it.
no, 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 no. No,
Let's just call it
unfortunately,
as it
mate.
is.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
That's how it
always,
should be.
always how it should be, because you're gonna have 80,000 screaming Real Madrid fans in the Bernabéu, the very first game of the season. Yeah, they're gonna be screaming, they're gonna be chanting. This is the very first game of the season. Osasuna, a team that last season we had our mixed bag of situation. Obviously, we had Vinny fine, and then we had a complete stinker as well, where red card situation, poor performance, whatever. Yeah, but the situation is for this game, it needs to be a dub for Xabi Alonso. I don't care what it is. I don't care how we get it. Yeah. Yes, people saying 3-0. Look, a win for the very first game of the season is super important. It's how we play. If we play excellently well, and we get a 1-0, I'll be happy. I don't want to see where we played shit against Juventus, for example, get a
Mm.
1-0 and people were glorifying, oh, this is Xabi Alonso ball. No. The way we played against Dortmund first half is Xabi Alonso ball. That's how I want us to play, where we silky smoothing, fluidity, one-touch stuff, and people were like excited. They're looking at Barcelona and they're saying, "Look, Barcelona are going to have competition this season." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because last season when we couldn't even play against Barcelona, we had nothing. The only match that I saw an element of anything for Real Madrid was the Copa del Rey final. It's the only situation, the only game across the whole season against Barcelona I was saying, look, this was the Real Madrid that I wanted to see. Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Carlo.
also, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Carlo. And also, the last game of the season, but the last game of the season, the only one that actually put any effort into the game was Mbappe. Yeah,
And
because he,
Chouameni as well. Let's just be honest. Even
okay,
Chouameni
yeah, okay,
to a degree.
but the way Mbappe was playing, he was on like some next level smoke. I don't know what he was on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he was.
he had a point to prove, pretty much.
Yeah, he had a point to prove, and he was single handedly taking on the whole Barcelona team. That's what it is. So I want us to see how. Look, last season the problem was we saw a string of games where we just played shit for like 10 games, but we still got
Yeah,
wins and we still got dubs. This has to be completely different. We want to see 75, 80% of the season performing well. And don't get me wrong in this, yeah, but the situation is Barcelona is not the be all and end all. Losing to Barcelona is not the end of the season, yeah? What I'm saying is that against the smaller teams, against your Bilbao's, against Betis, you understand, if we beat Valencia and we beat Betis, we would have won La Liga last season. That's
yeah.
how crazy
You
it
can
is.
lose about you can actually be crap against Barca for a
Yeah,
season, but still win the
but
league
still win
because
the league.
it doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, because a clear example. Look at Arsenal. Yeah, before we round up, Arsenal against the top six in the Prem as an example. Yeah,
Yeah,
are unbeaten. Yeah, by that logic, they should be winning the league. But why haven't they won the league? Why? Because against the smaller teams, they drop off. If we do our job against the smaller teams, yeah, because we will beat Barca or Atletico eventually. Yeah, they're
yeah.
not going to be able to do this to us every single time. At some point, it's going to give up. Do you get me?
Mm.
So do your thing against small teams. Against Barca, yeah, I think we'll be one of them this season in the altercation. But if you don't do well against them, cool. I don't care as long as we win the league. Do you get me?
Mm.
If we win the league, I couldn't really give a toss.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't give it. I couldn't give it a toss. Also, I honestly I second it. And the way that Real Madrid need to operate is that every single minor team in front needs to be 100% win. Yeah, when you play your
mm,
better, so you play your bit. But the game is going to be tougher. But at the end of the day, we need to get the win again as well. Look, the maximum amount of losses I want to see this season is about 3 or 4. And if it comes against the big teams and it comes against maybe a minor team as well, that's the maximum. 3 maximum losses. I'm sorry, 3 is the max I want to see because
if he can go the first half of the season with just one, like
yes,
one maximum two, that would be really good. That'd be
yeah,
really really
because
good.
then obviously the end of the season, but then also when you factor in when September, October kicks in and you have Champions League games, you have that 36 group table where you're having crazy amount of matches, and we don't know who we're going to play in the Champions League. Yeah, that Champions League draw
Well,
is going
we
to
know
be sensational.
factually. Well, we know this already. We're gonna play two teams from the Prem. We know that
Yeah,
already.
exactly, exactly,
Already. So that
exactly.
already is gonna be difficult. So that's either Chelsea, Tottenham. Not that I
Or
really
Arsenal,
rate Tottenham. Yeah, Arsenal, City, or
City, or
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's gonna be one of them. So that's already gonna be tough games.
yeah,
But what I need Chabi to do is I need him to use this squad properly
yeah.
properly. And I need some players to get back into form.
And
In
rotate
this,
when needed. Rotate when
there you
needed.
go, exactly. And we're gonna need someone like Asensio in the back to be back at his best. We're gonna need some players to come back. Camavinga needs to hit the ground running. Players are gonna have to hit the ground running. We need to keep the form up going for all this man. Rotate, make sure we don't have as many injuries as we've had the past couple of seasons. If we can do that, we can survive this breakthrough gap. But again,
Absolutely. Oh,
it
absolutely.
depends on all
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, that's pretty much rounded up the very first episode of Madrid Talk. Sam, thank you very much, obviously, for joining, bro. You're always
Of course.
welcome. And we're going to be having Sam featured a lot more on this channel, obviously. And he has his own podcast coming up. Can you tell everybody a little bit about that, Sam?
Yeah, man, it's called the Madridista Ultra podcast.
Yep.
Actually, it's for and it's for some of my OG Madridistas that I've been talking to for some time now.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna join my channel? Anytime you want, Dave, you're free to jump on. I've
Mm-hmm.
asked Dali is gonna be a regular on that show as well. Anyone that knows
Yeah.
that from
Nice.
next
Good.
week. Yeah, and another guy as well. We've got two other people joining on the panel.
Good
We're
stuff.
going to be talking about Madrid, about the club, about the future, about the transfer, everything.
Yeah.
Everything there.
Perfect.
And that's happening, and that's a regular show that's going to happen every single week. So, yeah,
Amazing,
man.
amazing, guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do is when we redirect, make sure you light up those comment sections. Yeah, say obviously end the stream, Dave Raid. Yeah, light up that comment section and make sure you interact with the new show. Next show coming up, obviously with Sam. Subscribe to his channel as well, and let's get him. Your next target was going to be 300 subscribers, I think it is now.
Yeah, I've just reached 220, mad, man. But yeah,
Amazing, good
the
stuff.
goal is to reach 500, then reach 1,000, man, and then just
Okay.
kick on. Kick
Yeah,
on.
let's try and get him to at least 250 to 275 today if we can. We've got 120 people in here, guys. Yeah. So once we redirect, get into the stream. Make sure you show your love and appreciation. And thanks, Sam, for coming.
Always.
Appreciate
Look
it,
at me,
guys.
bro.
As always, we always end the stream with this same saying: "A la Madrid
Hala
y nada
Madrid.
más."